and welcome to the session titled "The One Who Plays All Your Favorite Songs on TV: The Role of Music Content Manager at Zoom TV." Today, I'm meeting with Yagnesh. Yagnesh is joining us to talk about his role in terms of content manager at Zoom TV. Zoom TV is an Indian-based, I guess, music content, radio, television channel type of system. Yagnesh, are you there?
Hi, Andrew. Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here.
Tell us a little bit about Zoom TV and what you do there on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so Zoom TV is a music channel. It's an Indian music channel where we play Hindi, Punjabi music. There's a blend of Bollywood as well as independent music that we play on the channel. It has 10% of content-based shows, which are in-house productions. So yeah, the kind of role that I look into is 24-hour programming of the channel. So I have to make sure that the channel is running nice and healthy with a good, viewer base. So my job is to make sure that everything is scheduled in a certain way that nobody goes out from the channel. That's our motto.
Wow, that's a lot of content
Yeah.
and a lot of things to navigate and juggle.
Yes.
Obviously, trying to do that with volume and scale. So what sort of volume are you talking about? How many different songs are you dealing with, and how many different? Tell us a little bit more about the volume and the variety of content that you're dealing with.
So on a day-to-day basis, I think I get around 20 songs a day. So that gives you a rough number of how new content comes into the picture and how we take care of the entire library. So it's not a regulated system as such, because my software, the software that I use, that I work for, that software doesn't allow so much of data storage. So we have a separate storage altogether from where we have to sync this software to get this data from. So it's a lot of back and forth that we have to do on a daily basis to make sure that the content is nice and intact. So the number of songs that I look into is around 600 songs a day. To be honest, when we pull the data out of the database, so I have to give them a certain list of songs that I'll be using in the entire day. After that, my library team will give me all those songs for me to access and run it on the television. So we have thousands of songs lying in our storage library, and I have to give them particular IDs so that they can identify those songs and give it to me on that day.
Okay, so you got some slides to share to take us through these?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Well, that's really interesting. Thanks very much.
Okay, so I'll start the session here. First, I want to just 1 second. Yeah. I want to just start with a note of thanks to all the sponsors and organizers, as well as speakers for joining today, and the community for being so nice and kind and being here early or maybe late, wherever you are from the part of the world. So yeah, so 5 possible touch points that I'll go through today. First being how we receive the content. So as I said that content is the main material for any television channel. We receive the content from certain places. There are limited places like music labels and independent artists, which I'll get to in a moment. Then the second point we'll cover today is what is the importance of metadata? How important is metadata for me as a music manager, as a channel manager? Metadata is key for us. Where does the data get stored? How we store the data? Why software integration is required? And the last point, the last point being, does metadata, does scheduling metrics help? So first, how we receive the content. As I said, there are a few channels from where we receive it, one being music label, second being independent artists who give us their songs, in-house production, whatever we produce in-house, the content that we shoot, we edit, and so on and so forth, and agencies. So music labels, we have a few music labels which are big in India. Um, for instance, we have T Series, Sony Music, Universal, Tips, Saregama, and so on. So these music labels keep sending us their songs. So they acquire the songs, or rather, they have the rights for the songs, and then they start sharing these songs with different television channels, radio channels, and online platforms for them to broadcast or rather telecast their songs, so that people know that there's a new movie coming in or a new song coming in the market. So that's how music label uh, is constantly in touch with all these television channel, radio channels. Their main motive is to make sure that the song is reaching to each and every audience possible in the country or all around the world. Also, they have to make sure that the television channel is playing the song on a high rotation, because what happens is when there's a new song coming in, uh, there are multiple channels. So once they start playing the songs, they should not overlap. For example, if I am a channel Zoom, there's another channel, say XYZ. If I am playing the song, XYZ should not be playing the song at the same time. So we have to make sure that there is not so much of overlapping that's happening. Because what happens is when you switch the channel, you don't know which channel you are looking at. So it becomes a kind of confusion for the audience as well as us to manage that. So yeah, that becomes a little tricky for us. Then we have independent artists, singers themselves. Because of lockdown, I think everybody has come online and they have started on their own independent journeys. So now what they do is they'll create their own content and they'll start sharing it with music labels and radio channels. It has become quite easy nowadays to just make content and share it across with whoever possible, and then it goes to various channels, and you get the kind of attention that you require. Then the third point being in-house production. We do produce a lot of content in-house with Times Network, and that content is also given to us, and the content has to run on the channel. So it's a mixed bag of things that we take care of on a day-to-day basis. Agencies like uh, XYZ, for I don't want to name any agency right now, but yeah, so what they do is they kind of acquire the content. They are not the owners of the content. The owner of the content is somebody else, but what they'll do is they'll be like a middle person. Sometimes what happens is, say, for example, you're an independent artist, you have a song, you have a great song, but you don't know how to approach a television channel. So agency will come into the picture. They'll be like a middle person, and they'll introduce your music to other channels. And that's how, we get content from an agency perspective. And once the channel gets the content, the agency gets their paycheck, and the independent artist gets the kind of exposure that he or she is looking at. So yeah, that's how it functions. The importance of metadata, as I said, metadata is key. It's supremely important for me to make sure that metadata is at its best. What does metadata do actually? It informs the viewer. As a viewer, if I'm watching a song, if it's a new song, I don't know which song it is, what kind of movie it is, and who's the singer, who's the lyricist, so on and so forth. So for me, metadata gives me all the information as a viewer that I require, uh, and I should be knowing about. So yeah, that is a small title that we give once the song starts playing on air. There's a small title band running on the channel, and that's called a metadata clip title. Data sorting, how do we do data sorting? So it's a long story, but I'll cut it short for you. Once we receive the data from the music label, this goes to our library team. I give them all the metadata that they require. What they do is they'll provide me a unique ID for the song. So now this is an identification of the song. So no more the song is known from its name. Say, for example, we have Black or White from Michael Jackson, but now it's known as MWM1234. So it's no more a song name for the library to understand which song it is, because what happens is duplications keep happening. Say there's a new artist coming in and he has the same title. So then there's a confusion. So to avoid all that, what we do is we give them a unique ID. So it's an identification for the song. So the song becomes unique. It's a unique song. Also, what metadata does is it helps royalty payouts. As a music label, if I'm providing my song to you as a channel, when you play the song on the channel, you're getting your TSV highs. So you get TRPs, you get television rating points. With that, you kind of run the business and earn from that. So as a channel, when you're using a song from the music label, we have to pay them royalties, we have to pay them fees. So this royalty has to be paid directly to the music label or either through an agency, whatever suits the channel. So that's how metadata is really helpful, because once you give the paycheck to the music label will go ahead and distribute the money, the royalty fees, to all the artists associated with those songs. So it becomes very, very crucial to make sure that the metadata is at par. It should not go wrong at any cost. Metadata also helps in playlisting. It does help a lot, because what happens is if, for example, say we have a birthday special or we have a certain festival, if I have my metadata in place, I know what song it is, I know what artist it is. So it becomes very easy for me to, get 10 songs and make a bunch of 10 songs and play it on the channel. So the crucial part about metadata is not only just the information for the viewer, because as a layman, you're watching the song, but as a music manager, that's a playlist for me. So right from making the kind of schedule that I want to, till the viewer, it's a long journey that a song has to go through, right? From music label to the channel, to the library, to the data sorting, to playlisting, and then it goes into broadcasting. And that's how the viewer is able to watch the song on the channel. When is the data sorted or restored? It is done on a daily basis. We have to make sure that the data is there in the storage. Otherwise, there's a lot of hassle that we have to go through. So as you all know, that television channel runs 24 hours. So we have to do this on a daily basis, and it's a repeated process. I would say every hour we have to keep speaking to our library teams for new data coming in, or rather getting the old data out of the system. So it's a daily scheduling part that I do. And in that, data is restored and also stored. For new songs, it's a stored data. For the older ones, we have to restore it from the system. So it's a lot of back and forth that we have to do. As I said, special programming, if we have a birthday or an anniversary or say a festival. So those songs related to that festival are stored in a library. So now what I do is I know the song by the unique ID that the library has already provided. So I take that unique ID, I send it to them saying that I want this on the channel for so and so date. So kindly give me the data. What they'll do is they'll provide me the data, and my system, my software will recognize that ID now as the song, and it will go ahead and push the data into my software so that I can schedule it in my programming. Also, data sorting does help in creation of categories and era upgradations. I don't know if you guys know about era upgradation. So every song has an era. So for example, if a song is released in 2017, it will go into 2015 to 2020 era. So it's a 5-year bracket that we count as an era. And then we start sorting those songs out era specifically, and also category wise, because we have to make sure that all the songs are in a certain bunch. Otherwise, it's all haywire. It all goes here and there. So it's very difficult for us to track the song down on the basis of its name only. That is why the media ID, the library team, that media ID is very, very crucial for us, and also the metadata of the song. Software integration. Software integration is required in today's day and age, because in India, the softwares are not up to the mark. I would say there is a lot of improvement that is required for managing such a huge data. We have to rely on 4 to 5 softwares, and these 4 to 5 softwares have to be integrated with each other and has to work in sync with each other. Otherwise, there's no communication between 2 to 3 softwares that we use, and it becomes very difficult for us to, recognize the data and then make sure that the song is going on air. What software integration does, it's really very scheduling friendly. It's so friendly that it becomes a part of you. After a certain point, you kind of get a hang of it, and you get so used to it that you start enjoying the process, because you see so many songs are coming in, and you have new artists, you have new music labels, you have new people that you work with, and the association becomes very, very overwhelming at times. And the kind of work that we do, it's an entertaining job. I would say it has a lot of pressure, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. And yeah, it's very easy to refer to the song when we have a name, but it's also important for us to make sure that the teams are in line with the song. So that's why it's very important for a software to be so precise in terms of taking the content that it doesn't deviate from what's going on. And it's very easy for us to say and to explain you in a certain way, but it's really difficult at the back when we start the process, right from getting the song from the music label till getting it on the channel. So the entire cycle that we have to follow is very strict, and we cannot really skip any part. Otherwise, everything will create duplications and things like that. So it's really difficult for us to manage the kind of data that we get every single day. So data management is really, really key for us. It's very important for us to manage this huge data that we have of, say, 3,000, 4,000 songs in a week, 600 songs a day, because there's a lot of repetition happening. There are many songs that we repeat on a daily basis because those are popular songs and we have to repeat those songs. There's no other option that we have to not repeat the song. And yeah, so we have to manage this kind of huge database that we have. And does scheduling metrics help? It absolutely does help, because it makes my life a lot easier, and it eliminates all the kind of back and forth that I have to do, because now I refer to the song as a song name and not as a media ID, because it's almost impossible for everyone to remember unique IDs. You cannot remember you. It's like saying you remember my name but not my face. That's not going to happen. So you have to remember a face and a name, both. So yeah, it
Makes absolute
works
sense,
that way.
Yagnesh.
Sorry.
It makes absolute sense,
Yeah, yeah.
Yagnesh. We've come to time, unfortunately.
Sorry.
I really
I'll just run
appreciate
through it.
you
It's
sharing
really,
those things.
yeah, it's really quick. It's done. I think I'm on the last slide. Yeah. So this is just a recap of what we just did. So it's how you understand your viewers, how you mood map for them, how you make sure that the songs are basis they are liking, how you work in sync with your team, and the future of digitization. There's a lot of scope in digitization in India. So I would recommend everybody to come and do something for the community in India. Thank you so much. That's my time for today.
Thank you, Yagnesh. Very interesting. It's always difficult when you're part of a supply chain,
Yes.
and understanding all those different pieces of content you get from everybody. Appreciate your time. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Andrew.
Next up in the event today is our panel on artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'll be hosting that shortly. Thank you very much, and we'll see you for the next session shortly. And thanks again to Yagnesh.
Thank you. Thank you.